Ladies and gentlemen, let me talk to you for a second. You. I don't know where you come from. I don't know what you've been through, but I know this: you're still standing. You're still breathing. You're still here, and that means something. That means everything. See, we talk about success like it's a straight line, like it's this perfect journey, step by step, one, two, three, and boom, you're there. No, it's not like that. It's messy, it's painful, it's lonely, you're gonna cry, you're gonna want to quit. You're gonna have days you don't even wanna get out of bed. That's real. But let me tell you what gets you through those days. What separates the ones who dream from the ones who do? It's not just talent, not just smarts. It ain't luck. It's courage. Pure, raw, unapologetic courage. The kind that doesn't make a lot of noise, but stands tall when everything else falls. The kind that shows up when nobody's clapping, nobody's watching, and nobody believes. Courage is the voice in your head that says, get up. When your body says no, when the world says stop, when your past says you can't. Courage is louder. Courage don't always roar. Sometimes it's a whisper that says, try again tomorrow. And I know, oh, I know, you've had moments where fear had its hands around your throat. Moments where life punched you in the gut and said, stay down. But look at you, you're still here, still breathing, still fighting. You may be bruised, but you are not broken. You may be tired, but you're not done. That right there is courage. See, people think courage is about being fearless. No, courage is about feeling the fear and doing it anyway, shaking in your boots, knees knocking, hands trembling, and still moving forward. That's courage. You think the greats didn't doubt themselves. You think the champions never heard that voice that said, you're not good enough. They heard it, we all do. The difference is, they didn't listen. They had fear in their hearts and fire in their souls. They moved anyway. Let me ask you something. What would you do if you weren't afraid? What dream would you chase? What call would you answer? What part of you would come alive? Now flip that. What are you not doing because you are afraid? See, fear is a liar. Fear is a thief. Fear will rob you of your destiny if you let it. It'll chain you up in your comfort zone and make you believe that's all there is. But there's more, so much more. It's just on the other side of that fear, and I'm not talking about reckless courage. I'm not talking about jumping out of planes or diving head first without thinking. I'm talking about the quiet kind of courage. The everyday courage, the courage to tell the truth, the courage to forgive, the courage to believe in yourself even when nobody else does. Especially when nobody else does. There's somebody out there right now listening to this, standing on the edge of a dream. Right there, one step away, and all that's standing between you and everything you were meant to be is fear. That's it. Not money, not time, not education. Fear, and I get it. I do. Fear feels safe. It's warm, it's familiar. It's got a voice that sounds a lot like your own. But courage will set you free. Courage will take you places fear never could. Courage will build you, strengthen you, shape you. You gotta stop waiting to not be scared. You gotta move scared, do it scared, build scared, speak up scared, love scared, because courage ain't about comfort. It's about conviction. There was a time in your life, yeah, think back, when you believed anything was possible. Remember that? When you were a kid and the world was wide open, somewhere along the way the world told you to shrink, to play small, to be realistic. But let me tell you something. Realistic never changed the world. Realistic never made history. Realistic never started a movement, never built a legacy, never inspired generations. You want something different. You gotta be something different. That takes courage. Don't you dare let fear write your story. Don't you dare let doubt be the author of your destiny. That pen is in your hand, and every day you get to choose what kind of story you're gonna tell. You want to know what's powerful. A human being who's been through hell and still chooses to smile. Someone who's lost everything and still chooses love. That's courage, that's strength, that's greatness. You will be tested, oh yes. There will be nights full of tears, mornings full of silence, days when you feel like you're walking through fire. But courage shows up like a friend who never leaves. It holds your hand in the dark and says, keep going. It's not loud. It's not flashy. It's steady. It's true. And every time you face a fear, every single time, you get stronger, maybe not overnight, maybe not in ways others can see, but deep inside, something shifts, something grows. That's how champions are built. That's how warriors are made. That's how legends are born. You think you've failed. Maybe things didn't go the way you planned. Maybe you stumbled. Maybe you lost. But failure is not the end. Failure is feedback. Failure is fertilizer for growth. You don't run from it. You don't hide from it. You learn, you rise, you evolve. Courage will have you walking into rooms you never thought you deserved to be in. It'll have you standing in front of people who once doubted you. It'll have you saying, I belong here. Even when the voice in your head says you don't. That's the power of courage. Every great story started with a choice. A decision to rise above fear, to defy doubt, to walk forward in faith. That moment, that's what matters, not the applause, not the spotlight, but the choice, the decision, the yes. That yes in the face of no. And the beauty of courage is, it multiplies. When you show courage, you give someone else permission to do the same. You light a path. You open a door. You become a lighthouse in somebody else's storm. So if you won't do it for you, do it for the person watching you, the kid in the crowd, the friend on the edge, the stranger you'll never meet. Your courage could be the key that unlocks someone else's prison. Think about that, and let's not forget, life is short. Too short to play small. Too short to let fear dictate your choices. One day, you're gonna look back on this moment, the one you're in right now, and you're gonna ask yourself, did I live brave? Did I speak up? Did I try? Did I fight for what mattered? Let the answer be yes. Let the answer be, I was scared, but I showed up anyway. Let the answer be, I chose love when hate was easier. I chose purpose when comfort called. I chose courage. And no, courage doesn't mean you don't cry. It doesn't mean you don't break down. It doesn't mean you don't doubt. It means you don't give up. It means you stand back up when life knocks you down again and again and again. You are stronger than your fear. You are braver than your doubt. You are more than your past, and you are not done yet. So rise up, stand tall, speak truth, take the shot, write the book, launch the business, mend the relationship. Apologize, forgive, dream again, try again, believe again, because courage is not a one-time thing. It's a choice you make every single day. You got that choice right now, right here in this moment. So what's it gonna be? Because this world, this life, it's waiting for you. It's waiting for your voice, your hands, your heart, your courage. Don't keep it waiting. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to act in spite of it. That's the difference between those who stay stuck and those who step into their purpose. Fear is part of the human experience. It's natural. It's built into our DNA. It whispers warnings, tries to protect us, keeps us safe from danger. But it also keeps us small. It keeps us from growing, from trying, from risking. And the truth is, anything worth having, anything worth becoming, will require risk. It will require stepping into the unknown with nothing but faith in your gut and fire in your chest. You see, the bravest people you know, they're not fearless. They've just learned how to walk with fear. They've learned how to shake hands with it and keep moving anyway. That's what separates them. Not that they didn't feel afraid, but that they chose something bigger than their fear. They chose their mission. They chose their calling. They chose to believe in something greater than their doubt. Fear will try to convince you that you're not ready, that you're not good enough, that you need to wait. Wait until the timing is right. Wait until you feel more confident. Wait until you have more money, more support, more clarity. And that wait becomes your life. That wait becomes the prison you live in. Because the perfect moment doesn't exist. Confidence doesn't show up before the decision. It comes after. After you've done the thing that scared you. After you've stepped into the arena. That's when it arrives. That's when it grows. You have to move scared. You have to try even when your voice shakes. You have to stand even when your knees are weak. The act of doing the thing, whatever it is, That's what creates the strength. That's what sharpens your edge. You don't get the reward without the risk. You don't get the growth without the challenge. And courage, real courage, is quiet. It's not showy. It's not something you always see from the outside. It's internal. It's personal. It's that moment you choose not to run away. That moment you pick up the phone and have the hard conversation. That moment you walk into the room where you don't feel like you belong, but you walk in anyway. It's that moment you say yes, even when your stomach is in knots. And sometimes courage means being honest, with yourself, with others, telling the truth even when it's uncomfortable, owning your mistakes. Saying I don't know, or I need help, or I was wrong. That takes guts, that takes strength, that takes a heart that knows who it is, even when it's trembling. There's power in that kind of vulnerability. Power in standing open. Power in refusing to let fear silence your voice, and don't get it twisted. Fear will try, it will shout, it will scream. It will echo the voices of your past, your trauma, your disappointments. But fear only wins if you obey it. If you give it the steering wheel, you have a choice every day. You get to decide whether you'll let fear make your decisions or whether you'll rise above it. You get to choose if you'll play small to stay safe or if you'll dare to be seen, dare to try, dare to fail and rise again. You get to decide whether your story ends in regret or in resilience. And let me tell you something. Every time you choose courage, you stretch. Every time you say, I'm scared, but I'll do it anyway, your soul expands, your capacity grows, you become someone new. That's what courage does. It transforms you. You're not the same person after you step through fear. You're stronger, you're wiser, you're freer. The world is full of people waiting to feel brave enough, waiting to be certain. But life rewards the ones who move forward while they're still shaking, who take the first step with no guarantee, who trust their vision when no one else sees it. And yes, you might fall. Yes, you might fail. But failure isn't fatal. Failure teaches. It refines. It strips away what you don't need and reveals who you really are. Every great success story is built on the bones of failure. Every hero you admire has had moments of doubt, fear, and defeat. What made them different was their refusal to stay down, their refusal to bow to fear. They got up and kept going. You can too. You don't have to have all the answers. You just need to decide that fear doesn't get to be in charge anymore, that your purpose matters more, that your voice matters more. That your life, your one life, deserves to be lived fully, not fearfully. There's a fire in you. You might not feel it right now. It might be buried under years of hurt, disappointment, rejection, but it's there. It's waiting, and it will come alive the moment you say, I'm doing this anyway. And don't wait for permission. Don't wait for applause. Don't wait for someone else to validate what's already true about you. You've got everything you need right now inside of you. You were made for this, built for this, born to rise. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to feel nervous. But don't let that stop you, because courage isn't about how you feel, it's about what you do. And when you act even while afraid, something incredible happens. You shift the energy, you take your power back. You remind yourself who you really are. You are not your fear. You are not your doubt. You are not your past. You are the one who gets to decide what comes next. So take the leap, say the words, make the move. The world needs your voice, your heart, your truth, and only you can give it. You never really know who's watching you. You never know who's looking at your life and drawing strength from your fight. That's the quiet, powerful thing about courage. It doesn't just change your life. It lights the way for others. It gives someone else the permission they didn't know they needed. When you choose courage, you send out a signal whether you realize it or not. A ripple that travels further than you can see. Maybe even further than you'll ever know. Think about it. Have you ever watched someone do something brave and felt something shift inside you? Maybe it was someone who stood up and told the truth. Maybe it was someone who dared to dream big. Maybe it was someone who said, no, I won't settle. Or yes, I'll try. Even when they were scared. And when you saw that, Didn't something stir inside you? Didn't it make you think, if they can do it, maybe I can too? That's the power of courage. It multiplies, it spreads, it speaks in silence, it teaches by action. When you live with courage, you give others a blueprint, not with your words, but with your life. You become the proof. Proof that fear doesn't have to win, that pain doesn't have to define you, that failure isn't the end of the road. You become the story someone else holds onto in their darkest moment, and you may never get to see it. You might not get the applause, the acknowledgement, the gratitude, but somewhere, someone is breathing easier because of your example. Somewhere, someone is standing up because they saw you refuse to back down. Somewhere, someone is stepping out because you showed them what's possible. Courage isn't loud. It's not always on a stage. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's unseen, but it's never without impact. You might think your battles are just your own, that your scars are just personal, but someone out there is carrying the same wounds. Someone out there is facing the same demons. And when they see you walking through the fire and not letting it destroy you, it gives them a reason to believe they can do the same. That's why it matters how you show up. That's why it matters that you choose to keep going when it would be easier to quit. Because it's not just about you. Your courage creates a path. Your courage carves out space in this world for others to follow. It's like walking through a forest with no trail, and you start clearing the way. And the people who come behind you, they walk a little easier, breathe a little freer because of what you did. Think of the parents who model courage for their children, showing them what it means to face hardship with grace. Think of the teachers who pour strength into their students by standing tall when things get tough. Think of the leaders who admit their failures, who tell the truth, who stay grounded when the pressure is high. Those moments don't just shape the present, they shape the future, and don't underestimate the small acts. It doesn't have to be some grand dramatic display. Sometimes it's getting out of bed when depression tells you to stay down. Sometimes it's going to work with a smile even when your world is falling apart inside. Sometimes it's saying, I forgive you. When bitterness would feel better, those moments, they're not small, they're everything. And someone who's watching is learning how to be strong by watching you be real. People are drawn to authenticity, to honesty, to vulnerability. When you're honest about your struggles and still choose to rise, you make it okay for others to do the same. You give them permission to feel what they feel, to face what they're facing, and to move anyway. That's the beauty of it. You don't have to be perfect to inspire someone. You just have to be real. You just have to be willing to show up, even when it's hard. There's someone watching you who's trying to decide if they're going to give up or keep going. And when they see you choosing to press forward, it might just be the thing that saves them. You never know. That's why your courage matters so much. Sometimes we think courage is about being a hero, about doing something massive, but real courage is about being consistent. It's about choosing to live with integrity, choosing to love when it hurts, choosing to speak up when it would be easier to stay silent. Those choices create waves. Those choices build legacy. You don't need a platform to inspire people. You just need a life lived with purpose. And yes, it takes effort. Yes, it takes resolve. Sometimes it feels like you're doing all the right things and nobody sees it. Nobody says thank you. Nobody acknowledges the sacrifices. But what you don't see is the life that changed because of you. The person who found strength in your struggle. The heart that decided not to give up because you didn't. So when fear tells you it's not worth it, when doubt creeps in and tries to make you play small, remember that your courage is not just for you. It's for the ones who can't speak yet, for the ones who haven't found their strength yet, for the ones watching you, hoping for a sign that it's possible. You are that sign. You are the proof that courage doesn't mean being fearless. It means being faithful. It means showing up anyway, standing tall anyway, believing anyway, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. You are someone's inspiration even if they never tell you. You are someone's role model even if they never say your name. You are the reason someone will keep going even if you never see them. That's the power of your courage. It's not just about surviving. It's about planting hope. It's about leaving light behind you. It's about walking through the storm so someone else can see what's possible on the other side. Change doesn't happen in comfort. Growth doesn't come wrapped in ease. Transformation requires friction, discomfort, challenge. And above all, it requires courage. Because nothing changes until you do. And to change, you have to be willing to step into the unknown. You have to be willing to walk through fear, through uncertainty, through pain. That's what courage does. It opens the door to transformation. It unlocks parts of you that you didn't even know existed. It takes the limits off. It breaks down the walls you didn't realize you were living behind. There is a version of you that you haven't met yet. A stronger version, a wiser version, a version with fire in their eyes and freedom in their spirit. But that version doesn't live on this side of fear. That version only shows up when you decide to stop playing it safe. That version steps out when you stop settling, when you stop shrinking, when you stop making excuses and start moving forward with boldness. Courage is what pushes you past the life you've known and into the life you were meant for. It's not about erasing the past. It's about using the pain, using the lessons, using every scar to become something more. Transformation doesn't mean you become someone else. It means you finally become who you were created to be. But here's the hard part: transformation hurts. It stretches you. It breaks you out of patterns, habits, and relationships that have kept you comfortable. Sometimes it feels like losing. Sometimes it feels like everything is falling apart. But that's the process. That's what growth looks like from the inside. It's messy. It's painful. It's uncertain. And that's why it takes courage to walk through it. Because you'll have moments where you want to turn back. Moments where it would be easier to quit. Moments where you'll question if it's even worth it. But courage says, keep going. Courage says, there's something better on the other side of this. Courage says, you didn't come this far to stay the same. Courage is the engine of transformation. Without it, you stay in cycles. You repeat the same mistakes. You live in the same fear, replay the same story, build the same walls. You become a prisoner of your own comfort. But the moment you choose courage, you begin to rewrite that story. You begin to rewire your mind. You begin to retrain your heart to believe that change is possible, that better is possible, that you are possible. And sometimes transformation doesn't look dramatic. It's not always about quitting your job or moving across the world. Sometimes it's about shifting your mindset, saying, I'm not going to carry this bitterness anymore, saying, I choose to heal, saying, I refuse to let what happened to me define what comes next. That right there is courage. That right there is power, because when you take control of your story, you take control of your future. And listen, it's not always going to feel good. Some days, courage feels like confusion. Some days, it feels like loneliness. Like standing in the hallway between who you were and who you're becoming. That's the in-between. That's the tension of transformation. You're letting go of old identities, shedding old beliefs, stepping out of old environments. And for a while, it feels like you're floating. Untethered, but that's not failure. That's not weakness. That's proof that you're changing, and the world may not understand it. People may question your choices. They may say you've changed. And you have. Because you chose to grow. You chose to evolve. You chose to stop living according to someone else's limitations. You chose to walk your path, even if it meant walking alone for a while. That's what courage does. It separates you from the crowd so you can step into your calling. And don't let fear of failure hold you back. Failure is not the opposite of transformation. It's part of it. Every fall teaches you something. Every mistake refines you. Every wrong turn reveals what doesn't belong in your future. You don't get stronger by winning all the time. You get stronger by surviving what tried to break you, by refusing to stay down, by learning how to rise again and again and again. That's transformation. It's not a one-time thing. It's a lifestyle. It's a series of courageous decisions made daily. It's choosing discipline when distraction calls. It's choosing truth when denial feels easier. It's choosing to forgive when anger is justified. It's choosing love when you've been hurt. That's what real transformation looks like. and it only happens when you commit to showing up with courage. Your future is shaped by what you're willing to do now. Your breakthrough is on the other side of the fears you've been avoiding. Your purpose is hiding behind the comfort you refuse to leave. But when you start choosing courage, you start choosing yourself. You start honoring the voice inside you that says, "There's more." And you stop settling for a version of life that looks good on the outside but is slowly killing your soul. There's power in that kind of choice. The power to disrupt generations of dysfunction. The power to break cycles you were born into. The power to set a new standard, not just for you, but for everyone connected to you. That's what courage gives you. It gives you the strength to be the first to heal, the first to forgive, the first to walk away, the first to dream bigger, the first to say no more. And yes, it's hard. Yes, it costs something. But the reward is freedom. The reward is alignment. The reward is looking in the mirror and recognizing the person staring back at you. Not someone who lived for approval or fear or convenience, but someone who chose to rise. Someone who chose to grow. Someone who chose to live with courage. That's the difference. That's the shift. That's the doorway to everything you've ever wanted. It's not locked. It's not guarded. It's not reserved for the chosen few. It's open, and all it asks from you is one thing: courage. The courage to try, the courage to change, the courage to transform. You don't have to move mountains to be courageous. You don't have to stand in the spotlight or shout your truth from a stage. Sometimes the most powerful form of courage is found in the small, quiet moments of your everyday life. It's found in the decision to keep going when no one is watching, to keep showing up when everything in you says stay down. It's not about waiting for the big moment. It's about what you do in the in-between. It's how you carry yourself in the struggle, how you push through the ordinary with extraordinary resolve. Everyday courage looks like waking up in the morning and choosing not to quit. Even when you're tired, even when you're discouraged, even when the road ahead feels like it's going to take everything you've got. Courage isn't loud. Sometimes it's just getting out of bed, brushing your teeth, and taking one step forward. It's not always about conquering the world, it's about facing the day. It takes courage to be consistent, to keep putting one foot in front of the other when it feels like nothing's changing, when the results don't show up right away. When progress feels slow, that's when most people walk away. That's when doubt creeps in and says it's not worth it. That's when fear whispers you're wasting your time. But everyday courage says, keep going. Everyday courage says, I don't see it yet, but I believe it's coming. And it's in that consistency that strength is born. Not in the victory, but in the effort. Not in the spotlight, but in the shadows. The strongest people aren't the loudest. They are the ones who show up when it's hard. The ones who keep loving after heartbreak, keep trusting after betrayal, keep dreaming after disappointment. That kind of strength is built, not inherited. It's forged through small acts of bravery repeated over and over again. Everyday courage looks like telling the truth when lying would be easier, speaking up when your voice shakes, choosing kindness when anger feels justified, forgiving when your pride wants revenge. It's those little decisions, the ones that feel almost invisible, that shape who you are. They build your character, they shape your future. They stack up day by day until one day you look back and realize just how far you've come. It takes courage to stay when everything in you wants to run. And it takes courage to walk away when staying would break you. Sometimes courage means holding on. Sometimes it means letting go. Only you can know which is which. But both require strength. Both demand heart. And neither come easy. That's why it matters. That's why it builds something in you that comfort never could. There's courage in vulnerability too, in letting people see the real you, in saying, I'm not okay, in asking for help when you've been the one holding everyone else together, in dropping the mask and being honest about where you are. That doesn't make you weak, that makes you human, and the more you allow yourself to be human, the more you find your true strength. Not the kind that pretends everything's fine, but the kind that rises in the middle of the storm. And it takes courage to be patient. In a world that wants everything now, it takes strength to wait, to trust the process, to believe that just because you can't see the results doesn't mean the work is in vain. Some seeds take time to bloom. Some victories are being built in silence. Some breakthroughs require seasons of quiet grind, and it's your courage to keep going in those seasons that sets you apart. Everyday courage is in the decision to believe in yourself when no one else does. When the door's close, when the phone doesn't ring, when the world doubts you, it's the voice that says, "I'm still worthy." It's the fire that says, "I'm not done yet." And it's in choosing that belief again and again, even on the hard days, that you build something unshakable inside you. It's not easy. This kind of courage isn't glamorous. It doesn't get celebrated. There's no standing ovation for getting out of bed when you're depressed. No medals for showing up to work when you're grieving. No parade for choosing to try again after failure. But those moments, they matter, they add up. They are the foundation of a strength that cannot be broken. You're building something every day with your choices. Every time you resist the urge to give up, you're building strength. Every time you choose love over bitterness, you're building strength. Every time you hold your head up when it would be easier to hang it low, you're building strength. And not just for yourself, but for everyone who comes after you, your children, your friends, the people watching silently, drawing courage from the way you live. You don't need to be perfect to be powerful. You don't need to have it all together to be brave. You just need to keep going, keep choosing courage, keep doing the small things with heart, with faith, with grit. Because the truth is, your strength isn't found in the extraordinary. It's found in the ordinary, done courageously. And the more you practice it, the more it becomes part of you. The more you stretch those courage muscles, the stronger they get. What scared you last year doesn't shake you today. What broke you in the past is now part of your story, not your identity. You grow, you evolve, you rise because you chose to keep moving when it was hard. You chose to keep believing when it was dark. You chose to keep showing up with courage. That's what real strength looks like. That's what transformation is built on. Not the big one-time decisions, but the daily ones. The ones no one sees. The ones only you know about. That's where the magic is. That's where the power lies. And it's available to you every single day.